All right, let's talk some expectations here. Phil Knopp from Nashville, Tennessee. Hey, Mary Kay, what does the Browns management team believe is a successful season for Deshaun Watson in 2023?
Well, leading the team to the playoffs, that's that's the number one goal for everybody on this football team, but they don't just want to be one and done. I mean, they have big plans. I don't know if we will hear Super Bowl the way we have in the past over and over repeatedly. But I think that is going to be the vibe. I mean, it should be the goal for everyone heading into at this point in the season in April. If you're not really thinking that, then that's the goal, then why are you here? So I do think we probably will hear some of that. I know that's what Deshaun has on his mind. I know that's what the Browns have on their minds. I do think that the bar is set very, very high at not only playoffs, but winning some playoff games. Now, will they make it as far as they want to go? Don't know about that, but I certainly don't think that anybody would be satisfied with just making the playoffs and losing in the wild card round. I think people want these Cleveland Browns, I think the management, the coaching staff, and the players, they want to get into those playoffs and they want to make some noise.
Is that ultimately how you think people will judge Deshaun Watson's season? Like if they go 9-8 and maybe they missed the playoffs because of wild card, but he like leads the league in passing yards or something like he did a few years ago. Would that be considered as a successful season for Deshaun Watson, or does it have to come with winning at a high level?
It has to come with winning at a high level. I mean, you don't go out there and put your fan base through this controversial acquisition, pay him all that money, give up 3 first-round draft picks if you don't expect to make the playoffs. The expectations are extremely high. I got that vibe from Jimmy Haslam at the NFL annual meeting, where, again, he did not provide or give an ultimatum to Kevin Stefanski or anyone else, but it was abundantly clear what he was talking about. Everyone expects this team to make the playoffs this year. Everyone will be profoundly disappointed if they don't.
Okay, so that kind of leads into this question then from Greg in Indianapolis. Hey, Mary Kay, what do you see as the ceiling and the floor for this team as far as the number of wins this year? Now, he sees 8 as the floor and 11 as the ceiling. What would you put as like a ceiling and floor on this team?
That's a really good range. It's not a super tough schedule this year, and that always helps. But you never really know heading into it quite exactly how other teams are going to be. But it's not supposed to be one of the toughest schedules in the NFL. And I think that really does play a huge role. So, I think the ceiling could be a little higher. I mean, with 17 games, I would probably put the ceiling closer to 12. And then the floor can't go lower than 8. My goodness, if they're not winning 8 games, then heads would roll, I would think. I mean, they've got to win more than 8 games this season with all the talent on this football team.
I mean, if they only win 8 games and there's not a clear reason, like a significant injury to like a Deshaun Watson or a Myles Garrett or something, if they only win 8 or if they win 9 and don't make the playoffs, I think there's probably going to be some people at least feeling a little squeamish around the facility the day after the season ends. Because I mean, you just talked about it in the answer about Deshaun. The expectations are and should be high for this team.
Absolutely 100%. You do not go through all of this and spend all of that money to end up with an 8 or 9 win season and missing the playoffs. I mean, when you think about it, when you think about the enormous amount of money paid out to a lot of guys, we're not just talking about Deshaun Watson. We're talking about 2 other guys in their 20s, not just double-digit millions, but a 2 in front of that, and that's Myles Garrett and Amari Cooper. Then you've got a number of guys in double-digit millions with a 1 in front of it. Those guys include the likes of, well, actually, Denzel Ward is in the $20 million a year group as well. So there's 3 of those. And then you've got the Joel Bitonio's and the Wyatt Tellers and that whole group. David Njoku, Delvin Tomlinson, those guys in sort of the mid teens, double digits. And this is not a roster built to sit at home in January. It's just not. I mean, this is a ton of money. And Jimmy Haslam is not going to be happy if they don't make the playoffs this year. He is not going to be happy at all.
And when you talk about all that money, it's